Hello, and welcome to the Get Lean and Eat Clean podcast. My name is Brian Grin. I'm a certified health coach, trainer, and author. And this podcast is for middle-aged men and women looking to optimize their health and get their bodies back to what it once was 10 to 15 years ago. I will give you simple, actionable items to get long-term sustainable results. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show. All right, welcome to the Get Lean, Eat Clean podcast. My name is Brian Grin. I hope you had a great weekend and happy Tuesday. If you're listening to this on Tuesday, hope you listened to my interview with Carly Hayes. She's a registered dietitian, senior nutrition manager over at NutriSense, which is a company that utilizes continuous glucose monitors to build personalized diet and lifestyle plans. So if you've never heard of a CGM and how you can sort of use it as a tool to sort of help optimize your health, definitely check out my interview with Carly Hayes. You know, we got into CGMs. We talked about how certain foods affect your glycemic variability, the importance of muscle and meal timing, and much, much more. So if you haven't listened to it already, I definitely highly recommend my interview with Carly Hayes. That's episode 298. Now, on today's micro podcast, we are going to touch on a study. It's been a little while and sort of came across my desk. It was fairly recent. Study done in 2022 on a compound, a polyphenolic compound called Urolithin A, which is mainly in like pomegranates and berries and walnuts. So let me just pull up the study real quick and you'll see why we're going to touch on it today, because I thought it would be beneficial to hit on the highlights. If you're watching on YouTube, there you can see the study. Urolithin A improves muscle strength, exercise performance, and biomarkers of mitochondrial health in a randomized trial in middle-aged adults. So sounds pretty promising. And it was the gold standard, right? Is randomized controlled trial done. So that's what we're going to touch on today. And, you know, obviously this is a compound that's found in foods. There have been some companies that have made some supplementation. I'm obviously not getting any kickback for talking about it. I just found this and thought it was interesting. It might be even something I might try for a few weeks or a few months and see if I find a difference in my strength. But obviously, as we age here, we're always looking for little edges because to counteract age-related diseases and muscle decline. These are natural things that happen, but if we can prevent them and exercise and implement healthy activities, obviously that's principle number one. But if we have these compounds that are in nature and in foods and we utilize them, why not, right? So I thought this was interesting because, this polyphenolic compound is gotten some good reviews based on this study. And let me just read you a little bit about what they did and who they tested. They used Urolithin A, 2 doses for 4 months, and the data showed significant improvements in muscle strength, about 12% increase with the intake of Urolithin A, clinically meaningful improvements on aerobic endurance, so peak oxygen consumption, VO2, and physical performance, which was done with a 6-minute walking test. They also found that C-reactive proteins were significantly lower, indicates a higher mitochondrial efficiency and reducing inflammation. So they examined expression of proteins linked to mitophagy and mitochondrial metabolism in skeletal muscle, and they found a significant increase with Urolithin A. So the study really highlights the benefit of it and how it can improve muscle performance. So I thought that was really interesting. And, obviously, like I said, you can do oral supplementation. You can also find this in pomegranate, berries, or walnuts. And yeah, that was what I wanted to touch on just today. I mean, the main thing from this study is they really, it wasn't just, one marker. They looked at BMI, they looked at, blood pressure and VO2 max. They took 88 subjects, men and women, and all middle-aged. Average age was in mid-50s. And these people were fairly sedentary when they started this study. And then what they did was they tested hamstring strength, quads, hand grip strength before and after, peak power output for aerobic endurance and VO2 max, along with a 6-minute walking distance, like a sort of like a physical performance test. And they also use the DEXA scan, which, if you listen to the podcast, I'm a big fan of DEXA scans for my clients and for myself, where they measure total lean mass and total fat mass. And so, yeah, they use 2 different types of dosages on them, 500 milligrams and 1,000 milligrams, and the effects of it. And yeah, I mean, about 12% increase in strength. So big increase there. There was also an increase in VO2 max, hand grip strength increase there. So yeah, lots of great sort of positive outcomes from this study, which was done in 2022. So I'll leave a link in the show notes if you want to check that out. I'll put a link for, if you want to check out some places to potentially supplement with this. I don't do a ton of supplementation, but if you can find something where you can have a little bit of an edge, maybe test it out for a few months, see how it affects your strength. I might actually do a little bit of a test myself on this, because I currently do not use Urolithin A, or potentially you can get it from foods. So, like I said, it doesn't hurt to have berries or maybe some pomegranate as well if you want to go that route. But the bottom line is Urolithin A, increased muscle strength, increase in mitophagy proteins in human skeletal muscle, and seems like it's fairly safe to use. So I will leave a link in the show notes for the study. If you want to read a little bit more about it, definitely check it out. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me, brian@briangrin.com. And I appreciate you listening to the podcast. I will talk to you on Friday with another great interview. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the Get Lean, Eat Clean podcast. I understand there are millions of other podcasts out there, and you've chosen to listen to mine, and I appreciate that. Check out the show notes at briangrin.com for everything that was mentioned in this episode. Feel free to subscribe to the podcast and share it with a friend or family member that's looking to get their body back to what it once was. Thanks again, and have a great day.